I am so thankful to Cadillac for coming out with a driver's car like the CT4 V Blackwing and making it such an engaging driving experience and just a pleasure to be behind the wheel. It will be interesting to see what sort of fuel economy we get with it though, because we are running a twin turbocharged V6 rather than something bigger like a V8. So let's head out and do our highway fuel economy test on this 2022 Cadillac CT4 V Blackwing. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. And for those of you who are not in the know, this CT4 is kind of taken over for the ATS. It's a similar size, if you will, and similar part in the market. But Blackwing is now what V was. So the V Blackwing is the top series, and that's what we're running with here. Twin turbocharged 3.6 liter V6 power in this thing. Rear wheel drive only and a 6-speed manual. So I've loved my time behind the wheel of this car. So if you do want to see more on it, check the link in the description. We've got some live drive coverage. We're going to be testing this 14-speaker AKG audio system. And Chris Brower did a DM test drive. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this CT4 V Blackwing 23 miles per gallon, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know there are people who take their vehicles on long road trips and would like to know what sort of numbers they can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to do that, we're gonna head over to the gas station here, fill up, go out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. A few things to note for today: outside temperature is 22 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna have our interior climate set at 73 degrees auto. Our tire pressures have been set to their door placard 35 PSI cold. I think this reader on the car reads a little bit low. And we are unfortunately running on winter tires, so that will skew the number a bit. If you were on the OE summer tires that came with this car, you would probably get a little bit better numbers. So whatever we get, we'll kind of mention that you'd probably see 1 mile per gallon better in the real world. But let's hop out and fill it up. We will be running premium fuel in the CT4 V Blackwing. Quick chance to ask for a little like and subscribe on the video here. If you do feel like helping out Daily Motor, check out the join button. There you can sign up to see behind the scenes sound tests and clips and footage and help support the channel. So if you want to sign up, check out that join button. 7.432 gallons going in for our first fill. Before we start the engine, we're going to reset our GPS and the car's trip computer, and we're ready to begin. A few different drive modes here in the CT4 V Blackwing. You have Tour, Sport, Track, and a My mode, as well as V. We're gonna do this test in Tour. We're gonna take it nice and easy over the highway. It's about half a mile away, and pick up the test from there. The goal of this test isn't a hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for this car, but rather a realistic number. In order to do that, we're gonna get up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace and set our cruise control at a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour. That should allow us to average 70 over the course of the whole test. This Murano seems to be taking its sweet time getting up to speed. So we are going to use our twin turbo V6 to get around. No adaptive cruise control, surprisingly. You're paying $77,000 for this one, and no adaptive cruise. That always cracks me up with GM vehicles. Looks like our speedometer is quite high as well. That might have to do with the winter tires we're on. 73 on the dash, just giving us 71 on the GPS, so we're gonna have to bump up to 74. I should point out that I'm actually not too disappointed in the lack of adaptive cruise control. I don't often use it on highway trips like this. I kind of only use it on 2-lane highways when I'm kind of stuck behind somebody, but it is surprising not to see it at this price point and this top tier sort of vehicle. I'm sure it's some sort of package you can option. If I were Cadillac, I would just offer Super Cruise on everything the way Tesla offers it for a $10,000 upgrade. But anyway, initial highway observations. There's a amount of exhaust drone, even though we're in normal mode. Maybe once we get over this hill, it'll go away a little bit. Other than that, pretty quiet in here. So we're going to continue on with the rest of the test and catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the CT4 V Blackwing, this makes for a decent highway cruiser. We are getting almost 24 miles per gallon according to the car's trip computer. The automatic climate control does seem to be running warm. I had to move it down to 71 because my GoPro was overheating and it was very uncomfortably warm in here. Other than that, we have average 70 miles per hour. Seats are comfortable. Sound system's pretty good. Maybe not quite as much as I was expecting, but strong. And other than just a little bit of engine and exhaust noise, it's a good place to be. So let's get back to the pump, fill up, see what numbers we get. 4.524 gallons going in for our final fill. 102.3 divided by 4.524 is giving us 22.6 miles per gallon, so just barely rounding up to 23. So right at what EPA says, and given that we're on winter tires right now, colder weather, I bet you could see well over EPA cruising on the highway at 70 miles per hour here in the CT4 Blackwing manual. We do have a 17-gallon fuel tank in here, so 17 gallons times 23 miles per gallon is giving you an effective highway cruising range of 390 miles. Really not too bad. I mean, for the performance you're getting, yeah, you might get a little bit better fuel economy with some of the other options, but for being such a great driver's car, I'd be willing to pay for that fuel. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the V Blackwing, check the links in the description. We've got our AKG fuel economy test, we've got a DM test drive, live drive, all sorts of good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.